The world of comedy is often a mask for deep personal pain.
And depression is your body saying to you, I don't want to be this character anymore.
And many of the funniest people have endured unimaginable hardships. Their ability to turn tragedy into humor is a testament to their resilience.
My auntie died of Alzheimer's. I don't know how you die of Alzheimer's. She forgot to live.
But their stories reveal the heavy price of making others laugh. Here are some comedians whose lives were marked by profound struggles, addiction, mental health battles, and personal loss. Jim Carrey is now a household name.
You had a real messed up childhood.
I had an odd childhood. Yeah, it was a lot more messed up than I thought, apparently, according to the team of doctors.
No, when I see your biography on TV and stuff, it was so. I mean, I was kidding about it before, but it does sound kind of sad. I mean, you grew up in a car.
I like that music. Keep it going.
Your dad. I was watching it. It was some Jim Carrey biography or something, and it was like your dad was. Don't cry.
Yeah, the lip's already going.
Your dad couldn't hold a job. You and your whole family lived in a car and had to be janitors together.
Yeah, but you know what? Through that
came the man you are today.
Yeah, we had some tough times.
Yeah,
sure.
Synonymous with over-the-top physical comedy and blockbuster films. However, his early life was far from glamorous. Carrey grew up in extreme poverty, with his family living in a van and later a tent during his teenage years. Even when his father found stable work, Carrey and his brother had to take on janitorial jobs just to help the family survive. His rise to fame was not immediate, and he spent years as a struggling comedian before achieving success. The hardships of his youth left a lasting impact, shaping his relentless work ethic and the manic energy that defines his performances. Patton Oswalt, known for his sharp wit and self-deprecating humor, faced an unimaginable tragedy in his personal life.
Once you get past 50, everything's fatal. When I was in my 20s, I would walk into propellers and put some Bactine on it. I was fine. And now if a pine cone falls near me, my spine implodes. I don't know what, like that.
After building a successful career as a comedian and writer, Oswalt's life seemed perfect. He had a loving wife, Michelle McNamara, and a young daughter. However, in 2016, McNamara died unexpectedly in her sleep due to an undiagnosed heart condition mixed with prescription medications. The sudden loss left Oswalt a grieving widower and single father. He has since been open about the emotional toll of her death, particularly the heart-wrenching moment he had to explain to his daughter that her mother was never coming back. Maria Bamford has made a career out of discussing her mental health struggles on stage.
I understand. I know we're here in Los Angeles, also at home. I know we're all artists. We all have a gift. If at any point during my program you feel disgusted, you think to yourself, why isn't comedy better than I remembered?
Turning her pain into comedy. She has been vocal about her battles with depression, anxiety, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and bipolar disorder. At one point, her mental health deteriorated so severely that she checked herself into a psychiatric ward to avoid harming herself. Bamford's comedy is a raw and unfiltered exploration of her ongoing fight for stability, offering both humor and insight into the challenges of living with mental illness. Pete Davidson's comedy often touches on his traumatic childhood, particularly the loss of his father.
You know, I lost my dad on 9/11, and I always regretted growing up without a dad. Until I met your dad, Justin. Now I'm glad mine's dead.
A New York City firefighter who died during the 9/11 attacks. Davidson was only 7 years old at the time, and the tragedy left deep emotional scars. He has struggled with mental health issues throughout his life, including a childhood episode where he pulled out his own hair in distress. As an adult, Davidson has been open about his battles with depression and suicidal thoughts, even prompting a wellness check after posting concerning messages on social media. Despite his struggles, he continues to use comedy as a way to cope and connect with others. Andy Dick's career has been overshadowed by his well-documented struggles with addiction and erratic behavior.
Hello, I'm Andy Dick. Drugs aren't that bad. Some of it. What?
Cut.
No, is marijuana considered a drug?
Yes.
To you. Hello, I think saying no to drugs is very, good. This is not a drug.
What? I'm ready when you are.
I'll just hide.
Take 37, Marker.
Ow! Ah! You don't know pain, okay?
Clear the set, please.
You clear the set, please. There, the set is clear.
37 hours later, the message was very clear.
Don't do drugs.
Those close to him describe two versions of Andy: the sober, kind-hearted person and the destructive, substance-fueled alter ego. Dick has been to rehab over 24 times, but his addiction has led to numerous legal issues, including allegations of sexual misconduct. His behavior has become so notorious that new accusations barely register as shocking, a tragic reflection of how deeply addiction has taken hold of his life. These comedians exemplify the sad clown paradox, where the funniest people often carry the heaviest burdens. Their ability to transform pain into laughter is a gift to audiences, but their stories serve as a reminder of the human cost behind the humor. The second part of this list will delve into the lives of 5 more comedians whose backstories are equally heartbreaking. Mitch Hedberg was a master of one-liners and absurdist humor, beloved for his deadpan delivery and clever wordplay.
I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
Yet behind his quick wit lay a relentless battle with drug addiction. Hedberg openly joked about his substance abuse, famously quipping, "I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too." Despite interventions from friends, he resisted quitting, even declaring his intent to use heroin until death. Tragically, that prediction came true in 2005 when he died of an overdose at just 37 years old. His untimely death cut short the career of one of comedy's most unique voices. John Belushi was a comedic force, known for his wild energy on Saturday Night Live and in films like Animal House.
I'm John Belushi. Just having a cup of coffee before the show. It's kind of a tradition with me. Here at Saturday Night Live, we have another tradition that the show is always open with the words, "Live from New York, it's..." Well, you know the rest.
But as his fame grew, so did his dependence on cocaine. Friends, including Carrie Fisher and director John Landis, tried to intervene, urging him to seek help. Belushi refused, spiraling further into addiction until he began using heroin. In 1982, at 33, he died from a speedball overdose, a lethal mix of cocaine and heroin. His death was a stark warning about the dangers of excess, yet it was a lesson tragically repeated by others who followed in his footsteps. Chris Farley's career mirrored Belushi's in both success and downfall.
Despite Chris Farley's episode being a welcome return for the Saturday Night Live legend, audiences could tell that the comedian was in a worsening condition. His voice throughout the episode was noticeably hoarse after dress rehearsal, which wasn't helped by his appearance as characters like Matt Foley, which required him to strain his vocal cords even harder. Norm Macdonald criticized the decision to put Farley on an exercise bike in the Matt Foley sketch and claimed he tried to stretch out that episode's weekend update to give him time to rest. In future reruns of the episode, the cold open and monologue were cut out of respect for Farley.
A larger-than-life presence on SNL, Farley's physical comedy and infectious enthusiasm made him a star. But like Belushi, he struggled with addiction and obesity, cycling through rehab 17 times. Despite his efforts, he couldn't escape his demons. In 1997, at the same age as Belushi, Farley died of an overdose, this time involving cocaine and morphine. His death underscored the brutal pattern of self-destruction that haunted comedy's brightest talents. Robin Williams was a comedic genius whose rapid-fire improvisation and boundless charisma made him a legend.
So many of us did it, and you get through it, and there'll be those nights when you do cocaine, and you be like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, and then you wake up the next morning, I didn't die. Let's try it again. It's just insanity, you know. And what a great drug! Any drug that makes you paranoid and impotent. How much fun can you have? Come on, let's do this. What are you doing? I can't! I'm nobody, Charlie, I'm nobody! And then your right hand is going, shall I start him? What? Must we do the... Will you give me another piece of jewelry? I'll watch. Shut up!
Yet beneath his manic energy lay deep struggles with depression, addiction, and a devastating neurological disorder. After years of battling cocaine and alcohol addiction, Williams finally achieved sobriety, only to face a new enemy, Lewy body dementia. The disease, which was only diagnosed after his death, caused paranoia, memory loss, and crippling anxiety. In 2014, overwhelmed by his deteriorating mind, Williams died by suicide. His passing revealed the cruel irony of a man who brought joy to millions while fighting invisible demons. Richard Pryor is often hailed as the greatest stand-up comedian of all time.
Are you still straight now?
Yeah. Still, I haven't had. Johnny says that. I think you're talking about drugs and liquor. Right?
Liquor, yeah.
Good. Okay.
I wouldn't even get into the other.
A trailblazer who transformed comedy with his raw honesty and fearless storytelling. But his personal life was a series of traumas. Raised in a brothel where his mother worked, Pryor endured beatings from his grandmother and sexual abuse as a child. As an adult, his struggles with addiction and self-destructive behavior were infamous, most notably when he set himself on fire while freebasing cocaine. Despite multiple marriages, divorces, and health crises, Pryor never found lasting happiness. His death in 2005 from complications of multiple sclerosis and heart disease marked the end of a life as turbulent as it was influential. The stories of these comedians highlight the painful duality of their craft, the ability to turn suffering into laughter while often being consumed by it. Their legacies endure not just in their work, but in the cautionary tales they left behind. Comedy may be tragedy plus time, but for these performers, the weight of their past was a burden they carried until the end.